Hey everybody, hope you're having an awesome day. Hey, I think we're coming at you with something really special today. So, do you like cake? I love cake, right? So, and then do you like ice cream? I love ice cream, right? So, what's better than to combine the two of them and make something really scrumptious and delicious? So, if that's something that you think you might like to see, stick around and let's watch this video because I think we have a special video that you might be really interested in watching. Check. Hey, so today I think what we're going to do is we are actually going to combine two of some of my favorite things, which are cake and ice cream, right? So everybody likes to have cake and puts their ice cream on top of it. So we were talking about doing something a little bit different today with that concept or that idea. We are going to actually make some keto ice cream cake bites. So that's what we're making today. So hopefully you're going to stick around and watch the video and you're going to actually like it. Hit that subscribe button right now so that you don't miss anything else in the future. And then hit that little bell icon as well. So that would really truly help me out. So if we have enough batter left over, we may make a little birthday cake because it is my birthday coming up here in another day or two. So, you know, love to make a little cake to have for that day and celebrate. Maybe we'll show you that in a different video. Who knows? And as well as for those in my family anyway, if you're watching this, there is a wish list down there, so if you want to buy me something for my birthday, you know, help yourself. Hint, hint. All right. So in my version of this, we're actually going to use Keto Chow. That's what we're going to make for the ice cream part of it. So I'm going to make that first because I have to make it and then I have to put it in the refrigerator and I have to let it sit for at least 4 hours to, generally I normally let it sit overnight. So, and the things that I'm going to use when I put in my Keto Chow, I'm going to use some coconut milk and I'm going to use some heavy whipping cream. That's for me, that's what I find works the best to make the ice cream. And it works pretty good. You know, this is unsweetened coconut milk. So a cup of this has 2 total carbs in it. So for a whole cup. So by the time we get done with it, you won't eat a fourth of a cup of it, right? So, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and then I'm going to open up both of these because I'm going to pour a little bit in each one of them. It's the base that I'm going to use. Then I'm going to mix the Keto Chow into it. So that's all I do. This is a pretty simple process. If you've done Keto Chow or used Keto Chow, you've probably done this 1,000 times. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Keto Chow in here. I'm going to go open these up because I'm going to open up over the sink because they fly all over the place when I open them up. I don't know what it is. I think it's just me. But all right, so these are open up. I'm just going to pour them in here. I kind of do it gingerly just because of the fact, like I said, it is a powder and it does tend to get in the counter. It also has that guava gum or something in it, so when you go wipe this down, it actually gets sticky, and so it's hard to get off the counter. Not really, but just. So I'm going to put that in. Now the way I'm going to stir this up and mix this up before I put my heavy cream in and then finish it off is I'm actually going to take my immersion blender. It has a little blender feature on there. I'm going to turn this way down as low as it will go. And I'm going to turn it. I'm not going to turn it on turbo. I just find it easier to do this than shaking it. And it really does a nice job blending it. So it's all blended up really nice. I guess what I should have done was get a paper towel here. So hold on a second. Let me grab a paper towel. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heavy cream. And I'm going to take a half a cup. This is a quarter cup, but I'm going to use a half a cup. So I'm going to fill this twice and dump it in there. I don't know why I was thinking it was a half a cup when I grabbed it. But, oh well. Now, if you like it more creamier, you think you'd like to have more cream in it, then it's up to you what you want to do. I find the half a cup works really, really well for ice cream. So that's all there is to it. And then I'm going to give this a little one more stir. And then I'm going to top these off. And you want to be careful you don't do it too much, because that cream could turn it all into whipped cream if you're not careful. That's all I do. And then I'm going to just top it off with a little bit of the coconut milk. So I'm not putting water in these whatsoever, just because I find in ice cream, if you put water in it, to me it turns icy, and this kind of helps it a little bit so it doesn't quite turn as icy or in the freeze when I'm making the ice cream. So that's what I do. That's all there is to Keto Chow. I'm going to shake these up. Make sure you close these things really, really good, because I don't want it going all over my kitchen. And that's all there is to it. Right? You know? It's great exercise for you. So that's all there is to it. We'll come back in the next part and we'll talk about the next segment of what we're doing here. Alright, so here we go. We're going to start getting together our baking ingredients. So first we're going to mix all of our dry ingredients, right? So I'm actually going to put 2 cups of almond flour in here. Now actually I got a sifter. I'm going to sift this in and I'm going to sift it out. Just helps, especially when you're baking stuff like this, it helps break up those clumps and stuff. I'm going to set that out of my way. So this is in a sifter. It's actually a strainer, but I use it as a sifter. The holes are big enough that it really does a good job of breaking up the clumps and getting everything done. But yet it's not so fine that it doesn't let it go through. All right, so we're going to sift that out. All right, we'll come back when this is done. Now, I guess we're almost done. So. But it takes a minute, so again, hopefully you don't mind me watching me do this. I actually really like baking. Stuff like this is kind of fascinating to me. It's kind of like being in the lab or a science guy or something like that. Then I get kind of this, at the end with almond flour, I get some big particles, and I can press it up against it, and it allows me to break it up pretty good for the most part, so that it bakes good. It also gets a lot of the husk and stuff like that out of it. And then I'm going to actually go in here and we're going to put in 1/3 of a cup of coconut flour. Now, coconut flour, because when you cook with just regular almond flour, it gets really heavy and dense. Coconut flour actually will help give it that cakey texture, so it's more like a cake, right? And that's what we're shooting for. And then I'm going to put in some whey protein. I use the IsoPure whey protein, the 0 carb whey protein. That's what I use. I use it for protein shakes as well. So It's pretty good. Now this is a non-flavored one that I'm using right now, but I like their flavors and stuff like that. I do have links down below for all that stuff. Again, you can also buy this. I know Sprouts has it. I'm not sure who else has it, but I know Sprouts has it. Probably Walmart has it or whatever. But you know, sometimes you got to shop around and see who has the cheapest price on it. And then we're going to put a little bit of cocoa in it. Now this is supposed to be 2/3 of a cup of cocoa. I'm going to tell you that I don't know whether I have 2/3 of a cup here, so I'm hoping I can get close. I'm out of it. I forgot to put it on my list last time when we went to. I'm just going to just dump it in here. I'm going to hope that that's enough to give it that chocolatey cake flavor. So, all right, and then I'm going to mix this together. I got a couple more things I'm going to throw in here. When this comes all out and comes all together, if it comes out really, really good like I think it will, we will put this on our website that we have started, and then you can just kind of put a link down there to the website. Again, most of the ingredients and stuff like that too as well. I actually have a discount code down there for Keto Chow, so if you're interested in the Keto Chow, it actually makes great protein shakes and/or meal replacements. If I know I'm going to have a really busy day at work and I know that lunch is a grab and go, I will make a Keto Chow shake and take it to work with me. And it's just easy to grab it. I can drink it on the go. You know, it will sit in the refrigerator at work all day. And they taste really, really good to me. They're not overly sweet. They're not, you know, so I really like them. And they are a meal replacement. They will give you 100% of your daily requirements of what you need for the day. Now I am going to put in, where did I write it down? Baking powder. I am going to put in 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Yes, I said tablespoon. So that's a lot of baking powder. So, but it is 1 tablespoon. That's what we're going to put in here. Then we're actually going to put 1 tablespoon of instant coffee. This is actually going to help bring out that robust taste that we're looking for. So I'm just using the Kroger instant coffee brand. This is the same one that I have in the morning when I drink my coffee, right? And then I'm just going to put in the salt. That's all my dry ingredients. I did preheat my oven to 325. I'm going to mix that all up so it's all incorporated really nice. I suppose you could use a whisk if you wanted to do this with a whisk. I get so used to doing it with a fork that that's just kind of my go-to thing. So, all right, so that's all of our dry ingredients. Now we're just going to take this, we're going to set this aside and let it sit there for a little bit. Now I'm going to go through and we're going to take the next bowl and we're going to put in all our wet ingredients. So let me pull all that stuff together because I'm going to have to soften up the butter. It's still not soft yet, so I'm going to stick it in the microwave. And then I'll come back in a second and we'll put our wet ingredients together and then get it going. All right, so the butter is softened. Now we're going to put in a table. Yeah, we are going to put in a. I thought this one was open. It's not open, so I'm going to open it. We're going to put in a cup of sugar sweetener. I'm going to use this Whole Earth from that we got from Costco. Boy, I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you, I do like the Latana better. It's just more cost effective, and it happened to be we were in Costco, so I bought it. So, and I do use it most of the time. So they have it. This actually was made, and it used to have artificial sweeteners in it, which I wasn't sure what the heck that was, or artificial flavorings. Now they've actually removed it, so it's a much better product now than it used to be when they first started putting it into Costco. So I'm not sure whether somebody complained or what. So I do need to get my mixer because I forgot to get my mixer out here. So let me get my mixer together and come back, and we're going to mix this all up. All right, so I've creamed the butter and the sweetener together. Now we're going to put in the next ingredients. We're going to put in some vanilla in here. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. All right, I got it right in my hand. So we're going to put a teaspoon of this one in. I really like the taste of vanilla, so I don't mind if I put extra in or something else. I like the flavor of vanilla. And then we're actually going to mix in 4 eggs. Now these eggs we have set out and they're room temperature, or pretty close to room temperature. I don't think we set them out long enough probably to make them room temperature, but they're pretty close. So those are the 4 eggs. And now we're going to put in 1 cup of, I'm going to use some almond milk. You can use cashew milk. You can use almond milk. This is coconut milk, right? So I'm a big fan of coconut milk. I would prefer coconut milk over almond milk. So I'm going to put 1 cup of that in here. Then we're going to whip this all together. And then, of course, we're going to mix our dry ingredients in with it. So let's kind of mix it all up. So that's all there is to it. I am going to take something and knock some of this stuff off of here. Just good wholesome butter stuck on here. I want that butter in my cake versus on my mixers. So pardon me for taking so long to do this. This recipe is probably going to be longer than I'd like it to be. But again, it's like I said, it's going to be 2 parts as well. You saw me making the Keto Chow. So now that's all mixed together. Everything is good together. Now we're actually going to take our dry ingredients and we're going to start mixing them in here. We're going to do a little bit at a time. You can use the mixer if you want. I'm just going to use a good old-fashioned fork. I know it probably takes me longer. Alright, so I'm going to mix this dry ingredients. I'll come back and I'll show you what the dry ingredients look like when it's all mixed up. Alright, it's all mixed together. It looks like cake batter to me. So it should be a little thinner than cookie batter. I'm thinking that probably maybe the butter should have been maybe a little bit more room temperature. Maybe I should have got out a little earlier. But then again, kind of got caught up in something else. So what I'm gonna do is, because we're gonna try to make this into cake bites, I'm actually gonna take these are parchment paper cake holders. So we're going to put a little bit in each one, just enough to give it about, I'm going to say we're going to fill it up about a quarter there because it's going to raise up a little bit as well. It will rise when we're cooking it. And then what's left, we're going to put it into a cookie sheet. We're going to line that with parchment paper. And then we'll make the rest of it as a cake, if there's any left. I can't imagine 12 little holders like this is going to take that much. Trying to think of the best way to scoop it out. So should have a gravy ladle. Ladle. Is that a ladle? That would be probably pretty cool to use. So all I'm going to do is just take it out. Put it in there. That way there it kind of looks like this. I don't know if you can see it or not. Probably not. It's going to look like that. Right. So, all right, I'm going to fill these all up. We'll come back in a second. And I'll show you what they look like. And then we're going to throw them in the oven. All right, so our cupcakes are in there. Cupcake holders. We're going to put this in the oven. Now, it says... we were talking about the cake actually takes about 20 minutes to bake. These are not as big as the cake, so I'm thinking they're going to take a little bit less time. So about 10 minutes we're going to check them. We may let them go 15 minutes. We did have extra left over. So this is in the cake right here, in the pan. I don't want to hold it up too much because it will slide. But that's all ready to go in as well. We're going to bake this as well. This we will bake at 20 minutes. Put that in. We're going to put this in, and we're going to let that go for 20 minutes. Now again, my oven generally takes a little bit longer than most ovens, so if the cake goes 20 minutes, I will say a normal cake goes 20 minutes, it may go 25. And we will see. We'll come out and check them out with the toothpick and see how they're doing. All right, I'll come out in the next segment when they're ready to come out of the oven, and I'll show you what they look like. All right, so these are done. This is actually cooled a little bit because it took about, this actually went the full time. So they came out. So that's what they look like. They're still warm. So they look like little tiny cakes, which that's what we were shooting for. I'm not sure whether we overfilled them a little more than what we wanted to, but I think that's a good... So what we wanted to do is fill them about halfway. So that's, I think they're a little more than that, but that's pretty close. And this was the actual... This is hot. I guess I should have picked that up. But this is hot. That's what the cake looks like. So we will be decorating that and frosting that and using that for a birthday cake. So next part is the making of the ice cream. I'll come back. I'll show you a real quick glimpse of it. There's nothing really that exciting about it. I will come back in the next segment and we'll show you what's going on. All right, so a couple of things. We're going to make the ice cream now. So I think these are cooled down enough. These have sat in the refrigerator long enough where they've thickened up a little bit. But my wife and I were talking, and kind of because these filled up a little bit more than we wanted, we're actually going to take a little spoon. This is a big serving spoon thing. We're actually going to push them down a little bit just to condense them a little bit and get them into a little cup form like this, so that we can actually fit more ice cream in there than that. So I will tell you that they are springing back up a little bit. So, but this will allow us to get more ice cream in per cup. So I'm going to do that after we get the ice cream going. So you don't need me to see me doing that. That's pretty easy to do. So I'm going to take the Keto Chows again. I'm going to shake them all up. I have I don't have anything fancy as far as ice cream makers or anything else. I do have this Cuisinart that we've used this. We've had this for a long time. I'm going to say 5 or 6 years now. And we haven't bought one. I know everybody's into these other, what's it, the Ninja Creamer or whatever it was, but we don't have one at this point in time. I don't know whether we'll ever get one. So, but anyway, so I'm just going to turn this on. It does make quite a bit of noise. And then I'm going to pour these inside of it, and then we're going to let it run. And it takes about 20 to 30 minutes. And then once that's done, we will scoop what's in there out into the muffin tin on top of the breading. And then we're going to put it in the freezer. That's the plan. The remaining amount of ice cream that we have left over, which I'm hoping that we will have some ice cream left over, I'm going to put into containers. I take them and I put them in these little small containers. I'll show you that later on when the ice cream is made. And that's all there is to it. So again, I'm going to turn this on. You can hear it making noise. I'm going to pour in the ice cream. Again, you could put anything you want in this. So I do have some Chocolate chocolate chips. We're debating whether to put them in or not put them in. We will probably put them in. And you may want to take, for the purposes of trying to get all of the Keto Chow out, and you want to do that. That's all there is to it. Then we're just going to let that sit in a little bit and let it run. Come over, maybe I'll show you a close-up what it looks like down inside. So that's all there is to it. We'll come back. Maybe I'll show you if we decide to put the chocolate chips in. I'll come back and I'll show you us doing that. I kind of wait before I put anything in until it gets a little bit thicker in the freezer, just so that it doesn't all end up on the bottom, right? So we're all in one place. So, all right, we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. All right. Wow. We've actually put some chocolate chips in there and they're having a tough time past through it. So we're going to take that. I have this. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to put the ice cream in these cups like this. So they look kind of like, I should put a couple up in the upper part and you can see better. This is really helping us with the portion control more than anything else probably. But that's what it looks like with the ice cream in there. So I'm going to go through that and we're going to do that. Put these all in here. Get them nice and full. That's really how you make Keto Chow ice cream. So somebody had asked me in one of my videos, how do you make Keto Chow ice cream? So that's all there is to it. Just throwing it in there and letting it go. Alright, well we're going to take this, I'm going to fill these all up. I got one more and I'll show you. Alright, so that's it. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to throw this in the freezer, clear out a space for it. So that's one thing you will have to do. And then the rest of it I'm going to put in these little ramekins, these little clear ramekins. I have covers for them and I'll put those in the freezer as well because there's a lot more ice cream in here to go. So, alright, I'll come back later once they're all frozen and we will actually try one to taste test it. Alright, here we go. We got the moment of truth. So, this is what it looks like. So I think I'm going to, not sure how I'm going to do this, but I think I'm going to tip the camera down a little bit to get a better angle and you can actually see me cut it. And I'll put the camera back up a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to cut this in half. See how it goes. I'll show you a little bit on the inside. Oh, it's still nice and soft inside. So I'll get to show you a little bit about what it looks like inside. right. Well, let me took the camera up a little bit. I'm sorry, folks, but about this, I should have. All right, so that's really good. That's nice. Still a little soft inside, so ah. Good. I want to show you that. That's. What do you think? That looks really, really good. That tastes really, really good. It's a nice combination. So, again, still a little soft in the center. So, but yeah, it's that's good. That's a nice treat. Again, portion control, right? So, I mean, you only got 12 of these. You're eating these. I'm going to tell you with the Keto Chow, even with the heavy cream and everything else in it, you're dividing that up amongst 12. You're talking less than a carb for the ice cream. You're talking probably less than a carb for the little bit of cake on there. So I'll look for the other cake. But anyway, so this was less than half of the cake batter. So for that little bit, you're probably talking 2 carbs for one of these. So it's a really nice little treat. Good way to go. That's really, really nice. So I got put the full macros in. I thought about putting some of the Choc Zero chocolate on it, syrup on it, but we decided just to let it go the way it was. Hey, hopefully you like the video. If you like videos like this and you want to see more, like I said, we're experimenting here. We're kind of playing around with this stuff. So if you'd like to see more of this stuff here and you really, really like this type of videos, watch this next video over here and get some more great information and see some other great recipes. And make sure you click on that Alan's logo over here so you're subscribed to the channel, that you don't miss out on anything else that's coming out. So you guys are awesome. I will see you next time. These are unbelievable. I'm going to finish eating this thing. So.